Hello, it is Serum, and I am back on Kerbal Space Program 2.0. That's right. I see my little flag. Isn't it beautiful? Anyway, today I am going to add on to the International Kerbal Space Station. And it's basically, I've already set up the rocket. It's going to be basically just a escape rocket that can hold more people, but it's also going to be kind of an add-on to the base with a little bit of storage room and quarters for people to live in. Just decided, I wanted that, and it also gave me some ideas of other things I want to do to the space station. So we're launching off my typical rocket, the asparagus staging, and it's actually running very smoothly because this is the smallest thing I think I've launched in quite a while. So I like how easy it is to get up into orbit. And if you notice, there's a new beginning. I decided to spruce it up a little bit, make it look kind of nice, or nicer. So anyway, we're working our way up into orbits, and there's the space station right there. And I'm going to set it as my target. And it's pretty much, it's pretty close to where I wanted it, so it worked out pretty well. I wasn't trying to aim for it, but it just happened to be above us, so it ended up making it a little bit easier to get to it. And I ended up having a lot more fuel left than I was expecting for getting it into orbit, so I was able to do that pretty quickly with this big engine. Yeah, it got me most of the way to orbit, and quickly, which was nice. Like I said, I like these smaller things that I send up because they are just so much easier. But this ship is also bringing supplies. It'll be part of the workhorse for bringing things up to the station, at least until I can design something better. And then also, like I said, it will be a good escape ship if we need one to. It could probably bring everybody to the moon even if they wanted, or to another space station if I had one like around the moon. Because it's a pretty fuel efficient vehicle. And you'll see the full thing here in a minute when I separate everything and go to dock. And I'm still just trying to get into orbit, but I have a lot of fuel left in this stage, which is making it a lot better than, or a lot quicker than I was expecting it to be. Alright, we finally used that up, and now we have the Poodle engine, which I like because it's fairly fuel efficient, but it's also got a little bit of power to it. And this engine pretty much lasts me till we get to within about a kilometer or so of the space station, so it worked out well. It was like the perfect amount of fuel. Trying to record this before a storm moves in, so if you hear thunder in the background, that's probably what you're hearing. I've also got a wired headset on, so if my house gets struck, I'll probably get shock therapy here from the electricity. It'll be fun. Alright, so now we're going out. We've made the orbit, so now I'm going to try to meet up with the space station. To get to it, I have to make this large orbit around, this elliptical orbit, bring it out pretty far, and then when I come back in, we'll meet up. But it ends up working out. It gets me in pretty close. There it is in the sunlight, since you couldn't see much of it before. Now I'm just bringing this thing around. We're going to speed it up some. And the space station's still a ways out there, but it's slowly catching up. Here we come. I see it. I think I get within a couple kilometers. I don't quite remember. Yeah, this is a little bit later after I've kind of matched speeds up. Now I'm trying to get in nice and close. I think that last time was about 20 kilometers away. Now I'm bringing it in to as close as I can get. Now we're just matching speeds again. So this ship that I'm sending up there, it will uses nuclear power plants, a nuclear engine, and it has some extra RCS fuel so that if I need to transfer some to a other vehicle I can. And it also can separate and land in an atmosphere with parachutes. It has 5 parachutes. Okay, now we're getting rid of the Poodle rocket. And they're gonna just give us a little boost here with the nuclear engines. Once it lets me. Have to throttle down first. And I'm doing a quick save. Alright. And I'm going to use these just a little bit to get me closer and then slow me down. But I don't want to use up too much of this fuel because the Kerbal may need it to escape the space station and go elsewhere. Because I want it to be more than just a planetary lander. I want it to be able to take them to like the moon too, so they can go straight from the space station to the moon. Eventually I want to get a space station around the moon so they can dock up with that, and just it could be a transport between the two. So here we are, we're coming in. Now I'm coming in kind of quick, so I'm slowing down using the engines. But I'm coming in quicker than I was expecting, so I got to slow down faster. Now we'll just use RCS the rest of the way. So I'm still like floating around at this point trying to figure out where to dock it up. I finally just decided to go for that docking port that's available right there next to that dish. Seemed like a decent place to put it. And I kind of want to leave the bottom open but the next thing I want to put up at some point, which will be lights, because I forgot to put lights on this space station. This thing's the only thing that has lights, which I'm glad I put them on because we're doing this in the dark. So I'm able to light up the space station while I dock with it. But I want to hook up a module that will have fuel for fueling things, as well as having lights all over it to light up the entire station all the time. And there's the lifeboat that I broke the engine off of right there. So I'm going to try to avoid hitting that. Yeah, at this point I was really glad I put lights on this thing. Because before I turned them on, everything was pitch black. I couldn't see what I was doing. Yeah, it's a big change from doing those large sections of the space station before that I had to fight with and struggle just to get lined up. It's nice to do smaller things, and I think from now on I'm going to try to stay away from the larger objects because they're just it's too much work to try to get one of those things to dock using RCS because it just wobbles around and it's unstable, and I usually can't get the center of balance correct either with the RCS ports, so the thing veers around when I try to straighten it out. So I'm going to just try to do lots of smaller sections of things instead of larger sections, just take a little bit more time and do it with smaller pieces. Yeah, I hear the rain. The storm's moving in. So this is where I realized that satellite dish is kind of close to the lights, and I'm kind of thinking I might break it off. If I lose it, no big deal. It doesn't do anything anyway, but it looks kind of nice, and it would look sloppy to break things off for trying to dock. And I'm a little concerned I don't have enough room to dock this thing properly, but I'm about to find out if I can get it in there. Get it in there. And it docks. So it worked. Nothing broke off. And I still have a little bit of light to light things up. Not as much as I'd like, but that's why I want to put another piece down there. Just shine lights everywhere on this thing so I can see it. But it looks good. And now we're going to speed things up just to get it into the sunlight so we can see. And then I want to move my Kerbal knot over to the space station from this. So that's what it looks like if you can't, if you didn't get a good look at it before. So I'm looking for an empty container to put my guy in. Trying to figure out where he's at. I keep hitting the wrong button here. There we go. Now we're just going to spacewalk them over once I find one. So there's where the two guys in the station are. That one's empty. That one's empty. That one's empty. And then I believe that bottom one has two guys in it too. Everything down on that bottom part I believe is empty. I don't think there's anybody in those. Alright. And I missed the ladder once again. I changed my key, the grab key, from F to end, but then I'm not used to it, so I keep forgetting and I hit F, and I accidentally sent him into the wrong pod there. So I think I'm going to just switch that back to F because I'm used to that. But now that he's on the ladder, I can just crawl him down because that's the one I wanted to put him in, is this one right here. So hop on in, little guy. Alright. So he's in where we want him at. Well, that's it. Next time we'll put some lights on this thing. But until then, I am Serum. And I will see you next time. Feel free to enjoy the space station. Bye.